Hi, my name is April Nicolas, and welcome to the Just Do You Summit. I am here today with my girlfriend, really an amazing woman, Crystal Andrus Morissette. And first, I'm going to tell you why I put this thing together, and that's because of my own journey. I had a really rough patch growing up, as most people have. But what I did is start from scratch, pick up the pieces that still work, and through guides and teachers and everybody else who's come along my path, I've come full circle, and here I am today. I chose Crystal, and she was the first person I asked because 6 years ago, when I was starting over, I had purchased two of her books, Simply Woman and Simply Empowered, and those were my foundations to start picking up the pieces and putting a life that I would truly love today. And you know what? There's no looking back. And I'm so glad to have her here today. I'm so honored and humbled. I was like, just don't cry, just don't cry. But we're going for it, and I love you for being here. So I was just going to mention, for those who don't know you, which would be shocking, could you tell them a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you have been led to be one of the most sought out personal transformational coach, author,
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. To say a bio is like, I always, one of the hardest things for women when they first really start their journey and then they decide they're going to be healers or coaches or is writing your own bio. I mean, it's like and I always say just try to start by making a list of all your accomplishments right back to childhood. So if you were great at public speaking, which I won a couple years in a row public speaking, or you were great at running, or you loved reading, or that's really the way to build a bio, is to remember who you are, to remember who you really are, and then to not get too caught up in all the traumas and tragedies along the way, but to pay attention to your successes, because bios are not written on failures and flaws and mistakes, although they're our greatest lessons. The truth is, if I actually told someone the whole story, they'd be like, oh my God, you failed so much. You have so many failures. Oh my God, you have the most traumatic. I actually think to myself, if somebody only heard the bad stuff, they'd say, oh my God, you have the most traumatic life I've ever heard of. And yet the bio doesn't read that way. The bio reads, you know, just one great accomplishment after another. And so, yeah, I feel like I've walked 1,000 years in like 47, and I've lived full out. I have the worst injuries. I've overcome some crazy bad illnesses and head injuries and seizures and all kinds of crazy stuff and sexual abuse and cervical cancer, and gosh, there's so many bad things in there, but the good stuff is really good. Last year when I got that email from Oprah.com saying, we love your work, right? We want to feature you. The Daily Mail and New York Post, and doing an event with Dr. Phil and sharing the stage with, there's just been so many amazing accomplishments. When I remember in 2006, I walked into a bookstore downtown Toronto at the Eaton Center in downtown Toronto, walked in there with my two little girls, and there was my face on my book blown up huge all over, that I had been like chosen. 40,000 readers were pulled to see which book most changed their life, and my book, so these are these amazing accomplishments. But yeah, the truth is there's noise going on in my house because you're at work and I'm at home. You should know better. But that's real life. Real life is
real really is.
You have kids, you have things, you have life, you have noises. So the thing I would say that I've done best is I've healed my heart.
Right.
I would say that's my greatest accomplishment from my bio, is that I have made healing my heart my number one priority. And because of that, I have all of these other amazing manifestations that have showed up because I decided that I needed to heal my own heart. Right. So that's my bio.
Absolutely. So I
Darling, for some reason, I don't know if you can hear me, but for some reason, I can't hear you at all. I can only see your mouth moving. I'm not getting any audio. Yeah, now you're back. Okay. You may need to do a little, it's okay. You may need to do a little cut and slice, but if you don't want to, it just shows real life. It's all real life. But anyways, I didn't hear you for the last maybe 20 seconds. So say it again.
Okay, so what I was going to say was, for those in their journey right now who may be in the middle of a storm, but they just feel like they're lacking some kind of authenticity, or they're questioning, why are they getting up in the morning? Everything seems redundant. I mean, what would you say is the biggest indicator that change has to occur, and all the healing that we've talked about and what we've gone through in your courses has to occur?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think the truth is, if you're waking up every day and it's feeling redundant, then you're not living your truth.
Right.
Because the truth, one of the exercises I do at my retreats, I do different retreats around the world, but one of the profound exercises I do, and I only do it at retreats because it's in person.
Yes.
So it's different than doing in a course online. But in person, when I can be right there and feel the energy and watch the interactions, I do this simple exercise, and I will say to the participants, we pair them up 2 at a time, like just together, A and B. Who's going to be A? Who's going to be B?
Right.
And then it's like a simple exercise. I say, for 60 seconds, I want you to lie. Just lie. Lie about yourself. So I'd be like, I'm Angela. I used to say I was Angelina Jolie, but I don't do that one as much anymore. But they used to be like, I'm married to Brad Pitt. And I would tell them like all these things that I would say for like 60 seconds. Right. And they'd all kind of look at me like, you want me to lie for 60 seconds? And I'd say, please do. Right. Please lie to her for 60 seconds. And then I'd say, this isn't a deeply psychological experiment. All I want you to do now for 60 seconds is tell the truth. My name is Crystal. I was born on December 11th, 1970. I have 2 children. Like, just factual.
Right.
Why you do that for 60 seconds? And at the end of that simple 2-minute experiment, I will say to the people in the room, tell me the difference in how you felt.
Right.
How did your body feel? The lying takes a lot of work. You're constantly, you're looking around there. You don't make eye contact. It's not smooth. It's not easy. The truth is really easy. We actually think living our truth is hard, but the truth is living a lie is hard.
Right. So
not being truthful to yourself, not being authentic.
Yes. Yes. And it's kind of painful when you look back, really painful for our own evolution, and much of the work I've done with you is, and the sacred tribe that we're in is about unloading all the stuff we have bottled up in, the stuff that we didn't tell the truth about, so to speak.
Right, right, because we shamefully made it mean something about us instead of realizing it was something that was done to us.
Right.
That was done to you, or that you were part of that experience. You're not a shameful person because you experienced hard times.
Right.
Or you made bad choices, or people made bad choices that affected you. And somehow in our childlike mind, our teenager mind, our young 20-something-year-old mind, we make all those things mean something about us.
Right.
Like, we're bad people because bad things happen to us. So I really like to give people a safe place to unload it all and to sort through all the shit.
Yes.
Go through all the garbage and actually go, what's yours in there? And what's yours? And you actually realize you have a couple of little golden nuggets in all that crap. And if you can find the lesson, the gift in the garbage, then what you do is, it's like eating an apple, right? You eat an apple, you get all the nutrients, and then you let go of the rest.
Absolutely.
That's life. You got to know how to eat the apple, take the good out of it, and let go of the rest. And so I try to create a place where people can find the good, because there is a good even in the hardest times, and it's hard in the moment to see it. But in hindsight, you can look back and realize how that changed you, or how that made you stronger, yes. Or you had to learn how to forgive. You really have to learn now how to forgive, which is going to make you a better person.
Yes.
So all of those things are gifts that are really hard to see in the moment, and they don't feel like a gift in the moment. But we have to have someone that's willing to like put on the old miner's hat and go down in the dungeon with you and say, it's not that bad down here.
Right.
As scary as you thought it was going to be to go down here, you're not alone. We all have a basement, and we all can go into the basement together and shine light in the darkest corners. And then you don't feel so powerless. Then you realize, oh, it's not so bad. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, but let me tell you, some of those things we went through are, it's like a lot of digging. So I
Yeah.
remember being on one of our calls in your class, and it was the one where we had to address the inner child. And I remember laying down, listening to you, and one, I shouldn't have been laying down, but it was after work. But I was listening to you, and it was a live call, and you spoke about our inner child that can be taking us out of this game because we're going to be digging into deep stuff that's blocking us. But it's necessary to create space for the wonderful things that's going to be coming in. Well, my inner child knocked me out, unconscious, fell asleep. And when I woke up, you were saying your goodbyes and singing. And I was like, oh no, she did it. She knocked me out. And I literally had to try 2 to 3 more times to listen to the recording after it was live because my little girl kept stopping me.
Yeah.
And what came out of that was the whole abandonment issues and all this stuff, the muck that she needed to protect me from going into uncharted territories as an adult. And
You got it.
I couldn't have done that without your guidance. It would have been like, where do I go? What do I do? And the fact that I wasn't alone, you weren't the only person there guiding us. We had so many people on the call. And that's why it's like, when I hear you with the phone calls, it's like every day is brand new, even though you've done it 100 times, Crystal.
I know, right?
It's so exhilarating to see how much more digging we could do and how much other people can be touched by the work you're really sharing. And you are so generous in what you're doing, really, truly.
Thank you. I just hope it all pays off. No,
it does. It really will.
Like one of these days. No, I'm only kidding. It is, you know, I do in an honest moment, the way I just joked about that, in an honest moment, sometimes I see people that are just like, wow, they're just making massive amounts of money and they're just being exalted on massive stages. And I think, wow, I'm just like right in the trenches with people in their hardest, darkest times and hours. And the reward though is just so like, it's bigger because it's a soul that feels saved, or it's a person that feels like the lights turned on. And that reward for me is just massive. Every time I see someone heal themselves, my heart feels a little more.
Yes.
And it raises me a little higher, and it prepares me for my next step. Every time that we get in the trenches with someone and I realize this works, people need love, people need validation, people need to know they're not alone. And every time I do that, it actually prepares me to go higher and higher. So it's very win-win.
Yes.
What I give to you, you have given back to me 100 times over, truly. So it's a real win-win.
Well, I was going to tell the participants, I mentioned earlier, your Simply Woman book is, I still go back to it. It's about self-care. You know, I have the other one right here.
Yeah, Simply Empowered. Yeah.
Simply Empowered is about self-acceptance and love, and that's a transcendent beauty. That the other one about self-acceptance and love. This one is about discovering and creating sustaining success in every area of our life. And then you have the emotional edge.
Yes. Yay.
Yay. The latest book. And that one is about discovering our inner age, igniting our hidden strengths, and rerouting misdirecting fear to live our fullest. What is emotional age, Crystal?
Well, you know, it's really interesting because when I realized that no psychologist had actually really theorized on the concept that we have an emotional age, I was in shock. It's sort of like, there's this hole that nobody has filled. We all have a biological age, we have a chronological age, but what
Right.
about our emotional age? The age that we're showing up in the world. So there are women or guys I've met who are 20. They don't have children. They don't have responsibilities or mortgages yet, but they live their life like they're 80 years old.
Yes.
And they're carrying the weight of the world. They don't smile very much. They don't know how to play. They don't know how to have fun. They certainly wouldn't have a tattoo like that on their shirt. And so that is a person whose emotional age is so much older than who they really are. And then we have all met that person who's like, whatever age, 60, whatever.
I was going to say the flip side.
Right? The flip side. They have children, they have grandchildren. They are still running out of the room, slamming doors. They're still having hissy fits. They're still being drama queens. You're actually like, when are you going to become a woman? Yeah. When are you going to become a woman?
Yeah, or a man.
Show up in the world like a woman, not like a daughter.
Right.
Not like a damsel in distress. Not like a, addict or a broken teenager, but a woman. Right. So that's where I kind of got this scope on, like, we all have either this totally selfless aspect of our personality, and we have this totally selfish.
Yes.
But the transcendence, which was the really transcendent beauty, that book I wrote, the transcendence is transcending the parts of you that are broken.
Yes.
Healing this split so that we can show up as our best self, as our most empowered self, as our best age. So whether you're 30 or you're 70, you're a woman.
Yes.
You're a woman. You know how to be a woman the way you mother. You're not a mother, you're a woman.
Yes.
You're not a daughter, you're a woman. Right. You're not a wife, you're a woman.
Yes.
You're a woman. That's who you are. There's roles that you play, but you show up in the world as a woman. And when you show up in that way, everybody knows how to treat you. Yes. Like right down to your dogs. Like your freaking dogs know how to obey you because you're a woman.
Right.
She's my alpha.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And when you step into that greatness and that magnificence and that power, everybody else knows their rightful place too.
Right.
So it's a beautiful gift that you're giving to yourself, but you actually empower all the people around you by being your best self.
And that's what I was going to say. That's what you've done for us in our sacred group, is to give each other permission to step into power.
Yes.
There's not a sense of competition and comparison. I mean, those are the natural instinct that we have been thought to have. But here, it's like acceptance.
Yeah, that's the primitive instinct.
Yes.
We all have a primitive part of ourselves. The primitive part of the reptilian part of the brain, right? We all have that go-to. Right. Like, I will kill you before you kill me. But we're not going to kill each other. We're not competing with each other. We're not reptiles. Yes. We're not cold-blooded. We are warm-blooded women. And we want each other to love and be loved. Yes. What I want for me, I want for you. That's when you show up in that energy that we are all one. What I deserve, you deserve. Humanity is humanity. Life is life, and life is beautiful. And as we lift each other, we become greater versions of ourselves. So it's like this wonderful gift you give to yourself to not compete, but to love the greatness in each other, and then to be accepting of like the flaws and failures, because I've got them too.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Well, I was going to mention to you, you were teaching about archetypes, but real quick, because I want to mention this before I forget. You are the kind of woman who writes about these things, but you also practice them in your own life. And that's what I love about you. It's not to where, oh, I've gone through that stage, never going back. It's a journey of a day-to-day basis, sometimes moment to moment. We talked about, this dawned on me with being remarried and having having a baby, it was like,
Little
Luna, she is so funny. But I realized I was downing myself as a woman. I was becoming that mother thing where I didn't want to look too sexy or attract other men while I was already married, because it would be in my culture disrespectful for the men.
Yeah.
But he wasn't telling me that. It was like this subconscious thing.
It's 5,000 years of conditioning in a patriarchal world, because the man is actually so in love with us. When a man falls in love with a woman and then you give him a baby,
Yeah.
you're a goddess. And if you remain a goddess in his eyes, he will bow to you and love you and adore you and take care of you and your children. If you turn into his mother,
right,
there's a problem. But yet for thousands of years, we were taught a good woman puts herself last. But actually, that's who the man ends up going and finding a mistress, some woman that puts herself first. So the secret to marriage, great marriage and great love, is to remain that woman at all times.
Yes.
Now, you got to give yourself a break. Your baby's, is she even a year old yet?
She just turned a year last Saturday.
Right. Okay. So I'm on check with you.
Yes.
And little Luna.
Yes.
And you need to give yourself a year of being a mama bear. You do. You need a good year. If not, but the year mark is a good time to start remembering that you're a woman again.
Yes.
But I think that first year of being an immersed mother like you've been, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful gift between you and Luna.
Yeah.
It wasn't about your husband. It was a beautiful gift that you and Luna needed.
Right.
And now you'll continue to be a nurturing mother, but now you're remembering again, whoa, wait, I'm a goddess. You're a goddess. And teaching Luna and your other daughter and your son that you're a goddess requires you to remember that part of you that is purely woman.
Right.
Not mother.
No.
Not nurturer. And you are. Like, I look at you and I've resonated with your images on Facebook for 6 years.
Yes.
Because your images exude woman, and that's okay. You just had a baby. You're supposed to be in mama bear energy. That's a beauty too. That's a fierceness and a beauty too. You know, look at Shakti, the goddess Shakti or Durga. She has 8 to 18 arms. She does it all. She punches someone out at the same time. Right? She's like, I'll punch you out. I'll nurse a baby. I'll make love. I'll lasso that. I'll cook dinner. I'll make the money. I'll do it. But don't mess with me. I'm the woman.
Yes.
Celebrate me. Yes. Appreciate me.
Right.
Value me. And I really can juggle a lot of balls.
Absolutely.
You mess with me.
Pretty much. And that's why.
That actually serves everybody.
Yes.
Because then you really don't ever have to be that. You're like fierce without ever being fierce.
Yes. We are soul sisters. You do get it. So we have the different archetypes that you talk about. Can you enlighten them a little bit on the different types?
Yeah, so we kind of like just alluded to it. So in the book, The Emotional Edge,
yes,
the way that I taught in this book was on archetypes. So like using words like goddess,
yes,
or using a word like bad boy, saying the word seductress, a priest. Mm-hmm. Those are archetypes. You instantly get like, it calls to mind all kinds of qualities. So what's great about teaching in archetypes is it helps you to recognize, like, am I showing up like a woman, a mother, a daughter? It calls to mind a million images and ways of showing up. But if you can even just get clear on yourself, like, what would my mother energy do? That selfless part of me. What would my daughter energy do? What would my woman energy do? And when you get clear on what your woman energy would do, even if it's not what I would do, but it's still the best version of you, right, you're always going to make better choices.
Correct.
So that's why our teaching in archetypes is fast. You don't need a lot of therapy, because you can just go, oh, yes, I remember when I was in daughter energy. I did that. I cheated. I got drunk. I blah, blah, blah. I blah, blah. My mother energy is like, I never went out. I forgot to wear makeup. I cooked meals every single night. I never asked anybody to help. I'm completely and utterly exhausted. Woman energy would say, I cook when I want to, and I have to, because to maintain this beautiful, healthy body, I need to take care of myself.
Right.
And I love the people that I love. I love the people I love, but I love me. This is my body. I'll do what I want with it.
Right. Pretty much.
It has to be that way. It has to be that way.
Yes.
And when you come from that energy, everybody around you knows, oh, okay.
Right.
He's choosing to let me in this sacred circle.
Yes. Yes.
And I am blessed and lucky and grateful to be in that sacred circle.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's an energy. And when you can teach that to your daughters, we're golden.
Oh no, it's
that's
because you have raised some amazing girls, let me tell you. And Ariana's right behind yours. And I remember she said, Mom, sometimes I feel like they're looking at me like I'm a drama queen, but the right boy, the right man will know that and handle it. He can handle it because I'm in my woman energy. That's what she said to me. So I said, ooh, Crystal's energy is leaking through this household now.
I love that. The truth is, I don't think that either I was ready or however it worked out. I was 30. I could have my dates wrong. I was 36. I felt like this man saw me. But your daughter's right. There will be a man that will come along that sees through everything.
Yes.
And sees you at your core and loves you for it.
Yes.
And if you have to juggle a million balls to make someone love you, that's way too much work.
Way too much work.
Way too much. You can't keep that up for a lifetime. So you got to actually be who you are. Continue to always be your best self. But, if you're a shy person and this person wants you to be outgoing, go find someone else.
Absolutely.
If you're outgoing and this person wants you to be quieter, go find someone else. Because I may become quieter in old age, but I may not. So if my big mouth is a problem, you should probably go find someone else.
And that's part of the permission we've given ourselves is to speak up. And I love that about our tribe, is that we can speak up, speak our truth, and nobody gets offended because it's not about them. We're just sharing our journey. And
if they do get offended, I love the way we gather the troops, like we circle around the wagons around that person, and we all sort of circle in and go, wait, we love you. What's going on? Why are you offended? Wait. And then if you really are offended, well, that's an opportunity for you to heal. So go work it out. Yes. We're here. We love you, but go work it out. And we're not going anywhere, but work it out.
Well, that's why I wanted to tell people that if you're really one of those people who are ready, especially if you're a woman, if you're ready to step into power, all of Crystal's books, if you go to her website, there's such a slew of information for you to start where you're at a different level, and she'll give you focus and guidelines to how to walk your path. There's no wrong timing. If you're ready, you're ready. But, like Crystal says, we can't do the work for you. You have got to do the work yourself. But we're here to hold your hand, and that's the beauty of this, because you have to be able to experience that stretching and growing and releasing and creating space. And I don't know, I look at all your books as stepping stones. From simple woman to emotional edge. It's stepping stones. So if you want to take that journey, get all 4 books. But, check out her website. I remember going to the S.W.A.T Institute and going, oh my God, there's so much work here. But then the reward of digging into all the stuff you have us do, from our health to our emotional, mental state, it's all for a reason.
Yeah, there's no mistakes. We took a lot of time to build our Master Empowerment Coach certification at the S.W.A.T Institute. There was no mistakes. I thought to myself, the Dalai Lama came to Canada. He literally came to Canada. This wasn't just like he said it. He came to Canada and he told us in a sold out audience at the Vancouver Peace Summit, the Western woman will heal the world.
Yes.
And I started to sob. Like it was like an overwhelming, just whoa, like laser into my heart. And I knew we're being called, us Western women. We're being called.
I just got chills.
Yeah. And I just knew it in that moment, like we're being called, like the time is now. So that year I reached out to Louise Hay and Marianne Williamson and Dr. Christiane Northrup and Colette Baron-Reed and Sandra Ann Taylor and Greg Braden. I just kept like reaching out, Dr. Mona Lisa Schultz. Like I just kept saying, I want to build a school that's going to help heal the world. I want to heal women who will then heal their babies, who will then heal their children, who will then heal their families, who will heal marriages, who will heal communities, who will heal nations, who will heal the world. That's what I want to do. So I asked each of those women and Greg Braden, what are the most important things that we need to teach women so that they become empowered? And it was like, we have to get them physically empowered. You have to be strong in your body. Your body's your temple. We have to help you understand your brain. You have to understand your hormones. Those things are huge because I've seen women who are like brilliant and a million other things, but it's like their body's so out of whack that from 1 month to the next, they're in love, they're out of love, they're leaving someone, they just had the worst fight, they punched someone out, now they're back in love, now they're going, like, we gotta get you, this temple of yours, regulated, healthy. And then from there, we want you to understand your brain and psychology. And there's so much that trauma does to your brain that it's not even spiritual. It's not even physical. You've gone through trauma. Right. And trauma changes the brain. And when you can start to understand your brain, you're like, oh my God, I'm normal. So the decisions I made had nothing to do with being broken or being weak. They're natural mechanisms of trauma.
Right.
Now you feel like, oh my God, I'm completely normal. Now we're going to take you into energy work, emotional work. Now we're going to take you and lift you to the highest levels of consciousness and help you how to communicate in a way that you're accessing really high communication levels. And now we're going to teach you how to make money.
Yes.
Because to be an empowered woman, I need you to be financially independent and sovereign. Yes. And when you're a sovereign, independent woman financially, you're in relationships because you want to be in them.
Yes.
And not because you have to be in them. And a woman who's doing what she wants, well, that just changes everything. Now we have empowered women who are in empowered relationships, who are raising empowered children, who don't do things out of fear and desperation, but do things out of inspiration and love. And that's how we heal the world.
And everybody benefits from that.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Do you think my husband is complaining that he got to, you think he's complaining that he got to quit his over $100,000 a year job as a manager at GM, that he gets to drive, we drive everywhere, we go to all my things together, he takes care of all the financial part of our company.
Yes.
He's like, I love having an empowered life.
I love it.
You think my children who are 20 and 22 say, boy, I really wish that I had a disempowered mom that didn't know how to help me make millions of dollars? No, I'm going to help you make millions of dollars too.
Exactly.
And when we can give that gift to our children, my God, that's how we're going to heal our world, is empowered, happy, confident, whole, authentic people living their dreams, not expecting anyone else to do it for them,
right.
And having a level of compassion and forgiveness for their family and their parents that screwed it up because they didn't know any better.
Yeah, we share that too.
We sure do.
Yes.
We sure do. We sure do.
And
but
all of it stems from love.
It does.
I was going to tell people that your core foundation is love. And that's why everybody benefits, because it's not about the ego. It is totally rooted in love and expansion and totally. Open arms. I love that.
Yeah, it's live and let live, but let's help you live your best life. And
Yes.
even if you're living a really bad life, I still love you. You still deserve help. You just somehow someone taught you things that aren't true, and we just need to get you back on track, remembering who you really are, and that takes love, a
Absolutely.
lot of love. It just takes love, a lot of love, and we have to remember love is sometimes tough, and love is sometimes fierce, and love sometimes says no. I love you too much to enable you to continue on that path. So love is fierce
Right.
and patient and kind, but it is never ending. It's omnipotent. Its limitlessness is magnificent, and that's why I love that you recognize that. Because although I come across like a fierce warrior from time to time, it's absolutely driven by love. I have no agenda to anyone's life except helping them have a better life.
Right. No,
Period.
I know that. Absolutely. I know that from my core. And that's why I'm so humbled and honored to have you here. And for those who are not yet convinced that you are in great company, if you even come aboard with us at S.W.A.T Institute or to join us on Facebook, you can find Crystal in all the social media outlets. She is everywhere and everywhere. And you would be so lucky to be in our group and just have that sacred space of
Thank you,
feeling safe.
April. Thank you. Thank you, April.
So
You're
I
amazing.
want to thank you because, my gosh, you know who I was 6 years ago. And
You're you. You were you then and you're you now. I just need you to know that. You were you then and you are you now. I don't see anything except a magnificent, beautiful, vibrant woman then and a beautiful, vibrant woman now. I've always seen you.
I love you.
I love you.
So I want to thank you today, and we're going to be in touch. And
Yeah,
Crystal will have a gift for you in the link as to follows. Um,
perfect.
find her, find her, find her today.
Finders, keepers, losers, papers. No,
Absolutely. But we will be in touch. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
love you so much. Bye, April. I love you, and to all your participants, huge love.
Love.